Hey everybody, I wish there was a camera down here so I could give my intro this way, because I didn't memorize it. I'm not as good as Lawrence. But our dreams are becoming a reality, especially if your dreams are to avoid getting sued for violating a non-disclosure agreement or a wonky version of Tomb Raider. But what do your dreams mean for the gaming industry as a whole? Find out on today's Dude Soup.
Another week, another time I forget to say I'm going to change the intro of the show.
Oh, you're going to change the intro?
Just the music or
It
something.
needs to be rock and roll.
It's been like that for a while.
I know, or like
Since the very beginning, it turns out.
that weird like stock footage of
while.
like a rally of some sort.
When we first started it with stock footage, we were prelaying our footage, and then it was like we saw people dropping off.
Yeah.
Because people were like, "Why is this?" And it was really long, and then so Lawrence ditched it, and then we did another 200 episodes, and then he was like, "I'm bringing it back."
Yeah.
but he did. He was like, "I'm going to bring it back after
Yeah.
the other
Person-
The
this
actual
is-
intro, yeah.
This particular Dude Soup is brought to you by three wonderful sponsors: Quip, Bespoke, and Alien Blackout. You can get your first refill Quip pack free at getquip.com/dude. You can get 20% off your first subscription box at boxofawesome.com and enter promo code DUDE from Bespoke. And you can download Alien Blackout at d3go.com/dudesoup right now. We'll hear more from them at the end of the show. For now, let's talk about our dreams, guys. Yeah. Adam, what's your dream? What do you dream?
I alluded to it earlier, but I want to make the Fire Festival experience. So don't.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, don't close your eyes slowly.
Well,
I mean.
that's how I dream it.
Oh, you mean like as an adventure game?
So, well, no.
No. He means like go to the place that Fire Festival was supposed to take place.
That's the goal, is to eventually do
That's a
that. I
great
think we
idea.
do it in Long Beach or somewhere.
we'll start there.
Somewhere
Yeah.
affordable.
Okay.
So we sell,
FireCon.
Yeah, we sell tickets and we try to create the Fire Festival experience.
Okay.
So, but like people are really excited about it. We have a guy who comes out. I keep forgetting his name.
Billy
Who's-
McFarlane.
Billy McFarlane. He comes out and it's like we're all waiting
I
for
want to
him.
be Billy McFarlane.
Yeah, and you get to yell at him. And like,
Just go grab a tent.
yeah, exactly. And everyone's like, you're grabbing wet mattresses and
Those
stuff.
terrible sandwiches.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
but
the cheese
how
sandwich.
excited will you be to eat it? And then like, internet's not great, but like you get to do your Instagram posts and like
From FireCon.
at
I
FireCon,
actually
Firefest. Yeah,
really want to buy Fire merch at this point. There was a guy in one of those docs who had a Fire hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I
it
want
was
that
cool.
now.
Well, Annie had the Magnesis hat.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
which is just like he's 21 and an idiot.
We don't know who he is. We just put him on Instagram.
Well, he was his like new protege, which is weird because it's like the scam artist is scam. I don't know.
We need somebody to be Grant, his marketing
Oh, yeah.
sergeant.
Oh yeah, the guy
Yeah,
who
the
was
fat
like,
guy
I
with the
need.
Who
glasses.
just
he was
emailed
like,
him and was like, here are all the problems with your business, and then made them worse. He's like, you are now the VP.
Sorry, I didn't mean to-
no, that's
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, we're already
So
doing
my
Adam,
dream, yeah.
Adam, thank you for sharing your dream. We're also joined by my dreams, Bruce and Alana.
Hello.
Figments of my imagination.
That's very nice.
Not actually here. It's just Adam and I in a warehouse. Empty warehouse. And we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 4 game dreams.
Is it a
have you
game
heard about
now?
this? You heard about this? Have you heard about this?
Is it a game or is it
You heard
all
about this game?
games?
Because that Fire Festival thing you just described, it already exists. Someone made it in a video game.
And dreams.
You could make it in dreams.
In a video game with a controller. How about that? Like, it's one thing to make video games, but it's another thing to make video games with a PlayStation
with a
controller.
controller.
You can even use a Move controller.
I wrote this garbage intro.
What's
I wrote this little thing to kind of set up the discussion. So let me read it, please.
Yeah, please go right ahead.
Bruce, can I?
Yes.
All right. Really proud of it.
Stop stepping on his dream.
This is my dream to read this for all of you. The greatest
Oh no.
Dream ruined.
Blew it.
the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing game devs that it's easier for us to make games than them. After significant hype, creations from the beta of Media Molecule's upcoming game, with quotation marks, big old quotation marks, Dreams, are finally here to share. But is the potential of this game a dangerous precedent to set for the industry as a whole? With such great potential, there must always be impending pitfalls, right? I almost got through it.
You got
You
through
did
it.
good.
That's from Spider-Man. Yeah.
That's what
That's
Uncle
like-
Ben says when he's bleeding out.
Yeah. Or
Don't buy
Uncle
Dreams.
Ben dies?
Spoiler. Sorry.
No, yeah. So Dreams is it's a follow up to Little Big Planet, Little Big Planet 2. Did they have something in between then?
Nope. Little
That
Big
was-
Planet 3.
Little Big Planet
Do they have
3.
three as well?
There's
Yeah.
the third one.
Goodness gracious.
So,
that?
but that whole
think it was.
those are like games where they were creation games. They were like toolkits. They were still very much games. You could play through Little Big Planet however you wanted, but then the idea was give players the tools to make their own Little Big Planet however they like. Now the next step, it's a big step, and actually. I haven't gotten to really play. I don't think I've got to play
Little
it.
Big
or anything.
Planet?
No,
LBP?
no, Dreams. Their next step is Dreams, which is
Can
like
people play Dreams right now?
Yeah.
It's in beta,
It's
yeah.
in beta.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
And so, but the problem was it was all
want
NDA. So you could play it, but you couldn't share anything. You couldn't show anything or whatever.
They did Tearaway, not Little Big Planet 3. They did Tearaway on
Tearaway.
Vita, which was also awesome.
I don't know
Okay.
what that is.
Okay.
Very good.
But
Yeah,
they're all
the-
like these
the
like
Vita.
little mini games. So it makes sense that you have the tools to make your own little mini games. And some people went super complex with it, and other people put Nazi stuff in it. Like that's just kind of what
a
happens.
surprise.
The internet.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens. But now this is a very, very, very ambitious game. I'm not even sure. Is there a game-esque? Because like Little Big Planet
Yeah.
had the little guys.
It
but
has a campaign that are 3 separate stories looped into one. There's like an action adventure where you're 2 kids who have a dragon type thing. There's one that is sort of a dark comedy noir point and click adventure that's really cool. And the third one I didn't see very much of, but they all interweave, and that's still a full campaign that they built out.
Does it teach you in those campaigns how to use the game to make other little games?
No.
No. Okay.
Generally with Little Big Planet, yeah, it was just playing it. But it was the idea was everything you see here you can make, and then there was, if I recall, a tutorial you could go into, which like scratched the surface of like here's how you get your little thought bubble and pull stickers down.
The
which
entire
is
Dreams campaign was made in Dreams.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Got it.
Because they basically created this game engine that also is open to the audience. Now, again, people weren't able to share these cool creations, but people that were seeing them were like, "You have to see this. This is amazing. This is amazing." We actually talked about it on Gaming Weekly, where why aren't they just letting people see this? What's the fear?
Yeah.
And now they were like, "Okay, well, let's just do
Fuck
it." And so
helped.
far,
And we
everyone's really excited.
Heroes.
There's a lot of buzz. You're excited for this, right?
So
Alana?
Dreams is crazy. I started for the first time in 2015, and I've seen it every year since. And every time to meet a molecule, I've always been like, "Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this?" And they're always like, "Oh yeah." I've never had a question that I've asked that team that they've ever said no to. Like I'm always like, "But what if I made this happen?" And they're like, "Oh, cool, let's show you." And it's crazy. You can make a full song, and then you can pair that song to a platform game where you would have to jump in time with a beat. Like it's very hard to comprehend. But I'm really excited about it, and really excited about one particular feature, which is you can follow certain creators, and like we could all have a link that we would share, like a tiny URL that would let everyone see online all of the things that we like. So you can be like a Steam curator for Dreams. So you can find people who find cool games
cool.
and just follow them and just keep finding more stuff, basically.
That's
That's
pretty
crazy.
cool.
I saw the Kotaku post where they finally the floodgates opened. I think that's what I sent to James. I was like,
Destructoid?
oh, yeah, was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Destructoid? Yeah. I was like, look at this huge list from Gaming Blog X, and one of them, the guy was saying, he's like, we're working on this thing called Project Zero. It's from one of the guys from Prometheus, and he's like, which I think he's talking about the movie. Is there a game called Prometheus? Maybe, I don't know.
Probably somewhere. It's probably a
Yeah,
flash game on
probably.
Newgrounds.
Possibly, but either way, I thought it was really interesting that they're like, we're announcing a game within a game. And I was like, this is madness. And like,
What do you mean a game within a game?
because I mean,
The
they're
developers.
like announcing Project
Yeah,
Zero coming to Dreams. You're like, okay, whoa, like it's as if like the Unreal Engine became a video game you could play
Well,
now.
they definitely,
kind of is.
when I was talking to them at
That's,
E3 last year, said that they wanted to have like Kojima make something and have like Tim Schafer make something and have people make games inside of Dreams.
Sure. And I would love Michael Jordan to come to my birthday party, but he still hasn't replied.
Well, that's kind of an interesting question too. Is like when you have this unlimited potential, and it's they release it for $60, and then there's these 3 little short campaigns that are just kind of like not demos. They're probably big things, but like just there to show you. And the real bulk of the game is made by you and me, not us actually, because we're not going to do shit.
I'm not gonna
No,
touch
but
we're
like
gonna just play
you know,
stuff, make a weekly show.
people
about
who
it.
are really talented out there who get into these tools that are already doing it right now. What does that mean for the developer?
Well,
Like, what is that? Do you think that's okay?
I mean, I think it seems to me that it is, and it's almost like they're releasing a new console. Strangely, it's like it's the same analogy there, which is like when VR came out. Everyone's like, yeah, VR is neat, and like, oh, it does lots of cool stuff, but also it needs a killer app. It needs something that somebody's going to go in and be like, okay, well, we made Portal 3 in VR, and everyone's like, oh shit, Portal 3, I got to play it in VR, blah 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 blah. And it's the
Yeah.
same with Dreams, where like I'm never going to pick up Dreams just like VR unless there's something in Dreams that I really want. Then I'm like, for example, let's say Tim Schafer made something that everyone's raving about, and you have to go into Dreams to play it. Be like, okay, all right, I'm in.
I think that probably will happen a few times a year. You're right. Calling it a console's totally fair.
I mean, we'll see.
It'll have exclusives.
Well, at Little Big Planet was kind of the same way. Like I kept expecting that killer app to hit, where somebody was going to be like, "You've got to play this level in Little Big Planet. You have to play this thing." Just never happened.
Yeah, Little Big Planet was weird because they'd be like, you could play Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario in it, but you play it and the jumping physics it never felt like those games.
Yeah.
Mario and Sonic have a very specific feel. Little Big Planet was very floaty. I hated it. And I was always like, okay, I get what you're doing. It's cute, but it's not what you're trying to do. Dreams has like a first person shooter aspect to it. People made like third person Dead Space. Like,
Yeah,
so
we
There are
have
tons of
like
options.
there's some clips of them there, but like they Dead Space, Tomb Raider. Someone recreated the hallway from PT.
Yeah, I saw that.
So yeah, there's a lot of
You can also make movies, like you can make short stories. You can kind of do whatever. And one of my favorites that I played at I think PSX maybe a couple of years ago was just basically a short story that was just you would be on this giant platform, tons of creatures around you, and whenever you would try to go towards them, and I think the game was called Hug Me or something.
Oh, I watched that one.
It was really cool. You try to walk towards them, and they'd
all
all
walk
jump off
away.
the platform. And
Yeah.
it's just like this sad story of you trying to hug people and none of them come to you. And it's just like that's a kind of thing that can only exist in dreams because where would you sell that? But it's still a thing that has a message that's like, oh, this is really sad and profound. It's like it's just kind of nice.
Yeah.
Devs made that one though, I think. So the dev team has also made all their own games inside of Dreams.
But to your point, you were asking kind of like what this means for other developers, I guess. It depends on how strong the tools are in Dreams. So it's like, I mean, another developer could hop on it. I mean, you could get a team from Valve to get in there and be like, hey, let's make a little game in Dreams. And then again, that's their killer app. Like all of a sudden, everyone's playing Dreams because of that.
but there's
game
no
from
way to
Valve.
monetize it right now, right?
Oh, is there no way to- I don't know.
Is there a plan to have a Dreams store?
To
I mean, I
like-
guess you could
to
eventually.
Bruce's example, Valve could make a really cool thing and be like, check us out on the Steam store. So you could use it as a billboard for like advertising. So you can
Oh.
like push people to your GoFundMe or
Yeah.
something like
would-
that.
Valve's not going to make
That's
any.
true.
No.
You can do
Valve's
that.
not a great
don't make
example
things.
of who would need advertising, but like, yeah, if you're a small developer and you have a Kickstarter going or something like that, yeah, maybe you show your potential what you could do in this thing, and you're like, hey, if you go fund me, I can make something either in Dreams or in the Unreal Engine or something. But like, that's maybe
I
just
imagine
one
it'll
way.
work the same way as Minecraft is right now, where there are creators who've created Minecraft maps who can then sell them and they get a big revenue share.
I'm surprised that they don't. I mean, it's a beta, so I was going to say I'm surprised they don't have that now in Dreams because that would be the first thing I would think of is like have a Dream store.
There's a couple barriers though. One is that it's a PlayStation 4 game, right? So that already now there's a Sony hurdle to
Oh, that's true.
monetization. I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
that
true.
isn't there with Minecraft. Does Minecraft have a store on Xbox as well, or is it like a PC and you're just like paying the creator directly for a like .exe
It
or
is
something?
basically Mojang got to choose who is part of the Minecraft program, so they like curate their creators, put them in a store, and then you buy it. I don't know if it's on Xbox as well, but they fully had all of it. And only
Is that
invited
what
certain
Sky
people.
Factory was? I forgive me, my ignorance of Minecraft.
forgive
I've
me.
been saying it's going to die for the last 20 years. So
And you've been wrong every year.
It's always in the top
this is
10
the end.
sales.
It's finally going to be gone, and it's like,
Like,
oh wait,
every
no.
time GTA 5 is in the top 10 sales of a month, I'm like, who doesn't own this game?
Buy it again.
How do you keep selling it?
Oh, yeah, people
get
buy it on 7
lost.
platforms.
I guess.
Eskimos. Oh, we can't call them that, right?
What?
I think it's
Inuits.
Inuits.
Inuits. Sorry, they need the game too.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you, not that every developer can do this, because this is like Media Molecule's bread and butter, right? They're like kind of the kings of this, giving you the tools and making a game out of it. But what if Treyarch or whatever was like, we're not releasing Call of Duty this year. We're releasing this thing, which is all the tools we use to make Call of Duty.
Inside Dreams.
Not
no,
Inside
they're-
Dreams.
this
just
is their game.
They sell it to you
just
for
the-
$60.
Yeah.
For $60, they go, here's all the things you need to make your own
No.
COD Blackout.
It's called
right?
You Call of Duty or
It's
something like
it's
that.
all those tools or whatever. Here you go. Go have fun.
Call of Your Duty.
I mean, they do have. I don't remember exactly how this works, but Dreams does have the ability for you to have roles. Like you can make a game and assign someone as like your audio engineer, and they're controlling all the audio. And
That's
you have
cool.
like this group
Wow.
of people who are a team of devs. Like it actually works that way. So. The one thing that makes me think that it'll never, be a problem for devs is that Project Spark existed, the Xbox
That's right.
exclusive. Didn't really take off that way,
come
and
out?
It did, yeah.
did, and it's cool. And things like DeviantArt exist. Like Dreams was described to me by a PR person who was like, "Never tell anyone I said this to you, but here I am," as DeviantArt mixed with Facebook mixed with crack. because it is a social network where you can follow someone who makes a certain type of game, or a curator, or maybe they make really cool trees and you just want to use that tree library. But you can make the craziest stuff. So it's a social network that is also just for people to create art. And people are still creating art for free on DeviantArt.
Yeah.
So I imagine that it's just going to be communities constantly creating free stuff.
Yeah. I feel like on DeviantArt, though, you still get the ones where it's like, here's all my art, and then also here's my Patreon link.
Yeah, true.
Like, it may be harder to do that with those kinds of barriers.
When a giant corporation's involved.
Yeah, because it's built in a giant corporation.
It's an exclusive to Sony, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I wonder what Sony and Media Molecule's relationship is.
Well,
Like Sony owns them.
They do.
Yeah,
So
they
then
bought
that
them.
might be a thing where they may be able to eventually just be like, here's the Dream Store. It just goes, and Sony gets a 5% cut. or
Absolutely.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
not to get super. I'm really not concerned if Sony's making money or not.
Oh, no, I'm not either.
because they've ruined so many Spider-Mans.
What?
They're
Right.
Sony. They've made all the
Such
bad
a
Spider-Man.
Oh, the
Specific
movies.
vendetta.
The movies. I thought you meant the game. I was like,
Game's great.
It's a weird thing. It's sort of like a good example. We're part of a giant conglomerate, so like you can't blame us for the stuff HBO's done or whatever. But like same sort of thing. Sony's this giant corporation. Their game division has actually always been pretty profitable, and the other business has been doing really shitty things. I do think it's kind of cool that they've been behind this game for 4 or 5 years. How long has it
Yeah.
been?
At
That's
least,
a long ass time. It's something they actually believe in. But the pessimist in me is saying there's a corporate dude being like, so how's this going to make its money back? Instead of like people being like, we're just trying to spread love, man.
well, that's
And,
what
like,
that's what
not
it seems
good
like
enough.
for Little Big Planet. Those games, I kept on trying to figure out where are they making money on this game. I mean, I guess they sold maybe millions of copies. I don't know. But for this, that would be the first thing I would say is like, this is so cool. There's so many cool tools. I don't understand. Why don't we just make it so that other people can sell their games on this, just like Steam? Like, and then we're basically only the platform for them to just take stuff.
They
you know?
probably just got to do one step at a time. Like Minecraft
Yeah,
only
yeah.
just did that maybe a year and a half ago.
And they've been a game for 10 years, right?
Took a really long time. One thing that they did say back in 2015 when I first saw Dreams that you could do that I don't know if you could still do is you could create something and then pay to have it like 3D printed. So you could like create a sculpture and then you would just pay and order it, kind of like you do with Jackbox on the T-shirt game.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's potentially merch. It just could be through the store if they're still planning to do that.
So all the things I poorly model, I can have in real life. Well, speaking of
Yeah.
Segways.
We'll wait.
speaking of
you got?
getting something in the mail that'll change your life,
Okay.
Dude Soup is brought to you by Quip.
Good.
That's good. That's
Good.
Okay.
The toothbrush that helps you maintain and stick to a healthy dental routine. Go ahead.
Judge brush his teeth.
Check my teeth. I actually use Quip. People don't realize that dental health isn't as simple as a couple scrubs twice a day, so Quip brushes have a built-in support system for better brushing. See?
It's actually quite difficult.
Just so you know, you should be brushing for a full 2 minutes and 30 seconds, or for a full 2 minutes. That's what you should brush your teeth. People don't realize
That's what I
that.
do. That's what I do.
They just go at it. And Quip brushes they pulse every 30 seconds. So that way you know when to move. So basically 4 quadrants. So you start up here and move down there or do whatever. That way you know everything, every part of your mouth is getting a full clean brush. Quip brushes also include sensitive sonic vibrations for an effective clean that's still gentle on your gums. I don't know if you've ever tried like an electronic toothbrush. Sometimes like these big ones, they like, go crazy in your mouth.
They
It's
make
like
me sneeze because
they're
my
grinding
nose
away.
twitches.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the vibration, yeah.
So
I'm
it's
not
like
supposed to bleed.
no, you're not supposed to bleed. In fact, sometimes it can be too bad on your gums, and now you're doing more damage than good. And Quip brushes have just the right amount of vibration to kind of loosen up that gunk that's in between your teeth right
got a
now,
lot of that.
Bruce.
I got a lot of that.
And then it loosens it up, and then kind of frees it out, and then it's got the brush there. But the best thing about it is that you never have to worry about wasting any of your brushes. A lot of times people spend too much time with their toothbrush. And their head gets all worn out. You ever see those toothbrushes, all the worn out heads, like Ren and Stimpy, and it zooms in? Does the EU noise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
You won't have to worry about that with Quip because every 3 months they deliver a new dentist recommended brush head.
That's really useful, Bob.
That's really useful. You don't even have to
Extremely
think about it. I actually do use my Quip brush a lot. It's very versatile. It's super small. It's got a little tube. You throw it in your bag if you're going traveling or whatever. And it's got all the benefits of a fancy electric toothbrush at a fraction of the price and size. And I'm not alone because over 1 million happy, healthy mouths love Quip too. Quip starts at just $25. And if you go to getquip.com/dude, you can get your first refill pack for free. That's a free refill pack at getquip.com/DUDE. Spells dude.
Dude.
Yeah.
You remember those? Maybe we remember. I don't know if you ever had that in your country, but we always had those commercials where they're the
Books.
The litmus test
called
for
books.
the toothbrush commercial was like, look how it doesn't hurt this tomato.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's always strange. And then they're like, look how much this tampon can hold, and it's always blue water.
Yeah,
always
yeah.
blue
They
water.
should have been red.
And they should have had chunks too. I don't know. I mean, like that's true.
And then kids' toy commercials, they always driving through clear blocks.
Oh yeah. Well, so you could see the toy go through the blocks.
Whatever ad agency, there's some.
I always thought someone should sell those blocks.
Yeah.
Why didn't someone sell the blocks from the commercial?
Some madman said, like tomatoes, blue water, and blocks.
Fog machines and backlighting.
It's just, I guess, one ad agency making all this stuff.
So let me ask you guys another question. Omar, you can just, if you just want to go in and just start showing off some of this stuff, I threw some links in there for just like what people have created. What's going on?
I
This huge cut in his hand.
was just showing this cut on my hand.
Is it from your cat?
What's that
this,
from?
This is how you know when your cat's nails need to be clipped.
Yeah, there we go. I knew it was from a cat.
So stuff like this is someone made Dead Space. This is Dreams.
Holy
this
shit.
is the game, like very much like Dead Space. Obviously, it's a short clip, but still very impressive that something like this can be created. My question is, how long? Anytime you have this, it's all fun and games when the beta's here. How long until the pendulum swings back in the other direction, and either 90% of it is porn? So it starts out with this beautiful thing, and then he looks to the left, and then it's one planet having sex with another planet.
It's his ghost wife.
Or what I think is more likely, copyright violations start dropping.
So,
Yeah.
well, I don't know that you
Like-
can do that if it's sold. Like if they don't sell it.
But if they create such a comprehensive tool set that someone can make this, do you think that the company that actually wants to sell this product is going to be okay with that? No. Like how long until cease and desist start happening and it's like, okay, well you can make whatever you dream as long as you don't dream of something that already exists.
I mean,
like
Gmod's a good example where you can download anything and everything. If there is a 3DS Max file of it somewhere, they have uploaded it, and you can use that ragdoll or world or whatever. And as far as I know,
this is my favorite Donkey Kong country.
that's Dinky Kang.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that
They got close.
Look
They
at
got
that.
real
It's so
close.
derped.
Rhino has one eye.
It's just a little too
Oh,
long.
that's too
But do you
eyes.
think Nintendo will be like, yeah, go have fun. Let them do it, Sony.
It might be a YouTube type situation where they
What do they do about fan art? Because it's what it is. Dreams is fan art.
Yeah.
It can
Well,
be classified as
elaborate.
like parody, or it can like legally. You could say, oh no, this is just parody.
But it means one, monetization, no way.
Yeah.
You couldn't monetize
No
something that was
monetization.
licensed.
And then it also, if Sony is assuming some of this responsibility, like,
so they're
and then
not.
the X-Men are in there.
it comes down to the end user agreement. This is how YouTube gets around it, where they go, we've only created the platform. We're telling you, don't do anything that's copyrighted. And they go, wink, gotcha. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay. And so the cease and desist goes to the user, not the company.
Yeah, I know. Either way, it's going to squash. Like, Sony's not going to be like, they should live their dreams. Like, they're not going to stand up and,
No.
and go like, the X-Men should be in this. But at some point, the buck will stop somewhere, right? And so,
It depends how popular it is.
yeah.
You can do a backpack floss kid dance all day, and no one's going to give a crap until you're epic and you're making billions of dollars off of that backpack
You're
kid
selling
dance.
that dance.
Adam, your analogy of what you just said that I just forgot right now, Gmod, thank you. Holy shit. Was a great analogy because Gmod has a ton of copywritten properties in that, and that you can use it anytime you want.
They're not charging you
they're
for
not
those
charging you for
They're not
it.
charging you for those assets, but you still need to buy the game. So there is a monetary transaction, but they don't advertise
I think
the program as that.
PC is also the Wild West, though. Again, I think there's a certain standard that's different just by nature of this being on a console game, like financed by it. Like, yeah, Gmod is you can go anywhere. You can do anything as long as you can plug your computer into it.
I'll swing the other way. I think companies should sell their assets in dreams.
Well, yeah, I
so
mean,
Disney
yes.
should go download the X-Men pack. That way you don't get a Donkey Kong knockoff like what we saw there.
Like Minecraft.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
They never will do it.
Yeah, they'll never.
no,
do it.
literally
absolutely
never,
not.
but they'll-
Yeah, because it's just
There's
too.
a Nintendo pack in Minecraft. there's all those Nintendo
Yeah, but
skins.
those
at
are
one
both
point.
like kid-friendly things, and that's like Nintendo, and Nintendo wants to keep its thing kid-friendly.
Yeah.
And that's usually the complaint from the biggest brands is that, oh well, Star Wars would never be in Dead Space, or the X-Men would never be in some Littlebigplanet.
I mean,
thing.
and once you put those assets in Dreams, you could just make them fuck. So
What? Everybody's
mean-
going to do it.
Yep.
I also think Minecraft, whether or not whatever you do to Minecraft is always still Minecraft. Like it's incredibly complex, and you can build things and make some machines by swinging your hammer at a torch or whatever.
But it's still
like,
pixel art,
But it's
whatever.
still Minecraft. So if you sell Mario stickers in it, it's just Mario stickers or whatever
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Minecraft. But Dreams, you could make like Super Mario Odyssey theoretically.
Yeah.
it's always going to look like Dreams because the way the toolkit works is it's always going to have the shapes.
Yeah, it's like Unreal Engine-y. It's its own version.
Look-
of that,
low
right?
looks like a
poly
dreamscape.
kinda.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always going to look that way and always have that in common. But yeah, you could make Super Mario Odyssey in theory.
So I wonder if that's the bigger concern. It's like, oh yeah, well whatever. Some of our assets show up and it's not a big deal. But when you can go into this game you bought 2 years ago and then just like be like, oh, Red Dead's coming out, I'm just gonna play the Dreams version of it.
It'll never be that.
Yeah,
though.
I know.
I know.
But it's never taken the ultimate push to stop a company from thinking that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Some executive
okay.
just needs to raise his hand and go, what the fuck is this? You know?
Prime example. When I was a kid, I wanted Star Wars toys. Couldn't afford them. They're very expensive. So you know what my mom did? She had a giant chest of Lego pieces and said, "Build your own."
Build your own, yeah.
And my good brain made a very flat Millennium Falcon that was made of many different colors, and it looked like it was from McDonald's.
Yeah.
I mean, like the colors wise, because it was very red and yellow. So I was like, "Let's go, Chewie!" Like,
Yeah.
that's what I did. But
So Dreams is for poor kids.
But well,
Dreams is Lego.
but I'm saying George Lucas didn't kick my door down and be like, "You threw my Millennium Falcon against the wall," and be like, "Don't do
Here's
that."
the thing though. Lego is like a primitive version of this.
It is.
Sure.
And then
That's what they said
Little
with
Big
Minecraft,
Planet is
too.
a primitive version of this, and Minecraft and all those things, right?
Sure.
So like
swirl.
maybe it won't happen with Dreams, but whatever the next Dreams thing is, where it's like, all right, now you can just change your render settings.
Sure.
And you can change your physics and whatever. So now it feels and plays like games that are happening at the same time.
I envy Dreams actually and Media Molecule because they're in a really good space right now where it's a gray area. So they can be like, make whatever you want and do whatever you want. And like if people start making Star Wars stuff, everyone's gonna like, oh my gosh, you can make all this really cool stuff. Wow, you can play Star Wars Battlefront. But in Dreams, in 5 years' time, when they're monetizing it, that's when everybody's going to clamp down on it. Like it's like YouTube 10 years ago, when YouTube was like, you can do whatever the fuck you want on YouTube. It doesn't matter what it is. And
Hit that guy.
Yeah,
Monetize.
you can put up Star Wars and monetize it. But now we're not in that world anymore on YouTube. But here, I think we still are. I think we still have that potential to kind of do whatever we want and make whatever we want like that.
It's perfect.
In theory, I want to try to make a song in Dreams. That's the only thing that I would try to make is I want to make just a synthwave song, see if I can do it. And you could, in theory, release a full album in Dreams and have that be a marketing push to be like the first album ever released in Dreams. And that's the way that you get people to go there. And then you can export it all and upload it elsewhere. Like there are cool opportunities in reverse that way.
It's like you took a musician and you tied his hands behind his back and said, "Now make something." That's Dreams.
just like that.
That's what David Fincher does every time he makes a new movie.
He's like, "What's the new hotness? We're gonna make this whole movie on an iPad."
I make
David,
girl
we can't
on
do
a
that.
train blindfolded, and he did it.
I don't know. Yeah, it's I hope it does well enough. I like this idea
They've been
because
marketing it so badly though.
horrifically.
Like the E3 thing was just weird. They had a music concert in Dreams where they did have musicians play different instruments, but like through the characters in Dreams.
Okay.
That's what they did at E3. But for the press conference, that just looked like 2-second chunks of things because they
remember
showed
that.
it to everyone at the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like, why
I
are you
didn't know
choosing to
that's what that
market
was.
this game
Oh,
this way,
yeah.
Sony? What are you
Well,
doing?
The barrier to entry with Dreams is my major problem.
This is the main campaign.
Because there is no way I'm ever going to touch this video game.
Not this. Look at this cool world,
Well,
Bruce.
no, it's not
living,
that.
breathing.
It's not the world. It's more about the fact that I don't want to get like it's so daunting. I don't want to walk in and be like, okay,
No.
now start making your own level. And we're like, what the fuck? No, I'm not going to do any of that. Like I want to play other people's stuff.
I think it'll make you play stuff before making you make your own level.
Yeah.
Maybe, but also like if I'm spending $60, it's got to have something huge inside it that I really want.
I
you know?
played the entirety of the first Little Big Planet campaign and had a good time with it. And then I was like,
Fry.
what?
Stephen Fry.
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, I'm trying to explore the world. So the problem is sometimes you get so much. There's so much in there that there's no way to know what's good or bad. I mean, GTA kind of has that issue too, where you're like doing map testing or whatever, and it's the description sounds amazing, and it's got 5 stars, like 20,000 reviews, 5 stars, and you get it, and it's a loop.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this? You know, and so I kind of got into that situation with Littlebigplanet for a little while, and this is way more intense.
Yeah.
But like, oh, a 5-star map, I'll give it a try, and then you drop in, and then there's a chair, and you walk forward, you hit a button, and the floor drops out from beneath you, and you explode, and then it drops you down into the bottom of the level where it just has text that says "haha, gotcha" or whatever. Like, and then I'm like, it took me 5 minutes to download that. You know.
I think a lot of it with Dreams will be media, honestly, and social media will be what gets it, because Littlebigplanet, I feel like social media wasn't quite as big when the first game came out. And it'll be a lot of like the Dead Space thing, like the PT thing. It'll be people sharing something and being like, this game is incredible, you have to play it. That's probably how we'll find most of it.
Also,
or really good curators.
We're living in a world post Mario Maker, where Mario Maker changed all that shit for user created stuff. That's true. You know, people have a way bigger expectation for what that could be than when Littlebigplanet first came out.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, if you were excited about creating something here, I would say find a YouTuber,
Yeah.
get a contract together, like start a YouTube channel where someone will be the tester, like the Kraken type, you know, and then you'll have someone who'll be that, who will do your maps and play your maps, and then how you can monetize it through the media created from your maps.
One thing that's really cool about it is that this could be a very good way for people who want to get into game development to show a portfolio.
Absolutely.
Like if you want to be a narrative designer in a game, you could write a video game in Dreams and show that to whoever you're applying to next. Like it could be a really good way to get new devs into the spotlight.
Similar but totally different. I saw a video today. It's a short film someone made called Wired, but it is a 2D animated short film that the person made entirely in VR. And so like that stuff excites me, like where he created it in 3D, but when it's all shot together, it's all animated, him just like moving around, puppeteering, all that, but then he shot it as a 2D film. And like that sort of stuff always really excites me, where like, oh cool, you're empowering users. As long as you make the tools easier to use, you then can get the creativity to come out.
Yeah, you can make movies and stuff in Dreams too. You can make a TV show if you wanted. So.
Yeah. And I think like you get rid of those barriers of a hard program to use. You know, editing is so easy now that anyone can make a short film. Like, and that's kind of my hope with what Dreams is it's game development 101, super simple. If this, then that. And then you can go, oh, cool. I want to see the video game sort of break out of the mold of,
You have to have years of technical experience.
or just, you know, kind of breaking down what a video game is. I feel like video games are so much put into these boxes where it's your platformer, your survival horror, your first-person shooter. And so every time you play a game, you go, oh, I get it. It's like, The hope is that someone has some crazy wild dream where all of a sudden new concepts are coming out of this stuff. Because
New genres.
yeah, just because you can just get around the hurdle, which is just simple programming.
I've got an idea. How about we put 100 of those little triangle men in one giant map, and then they battle till the end. Only one
I
survives.
like it. That's really good.
I'd like to write you a check for $100 million.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention my old quote of, if you're an indie dev and you have a dream for a game, please kill yourself.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh.
I would say now it's okay.
All right.
Because now you have an actual platform.
You got dreams.
now you can live.
Some guy's like, what was that, James? About to kick the chair out.
No, yeah, I think it's definitely very interesting. I trust Media Molecule to do something really, really cool with it. I like the idea of unlimited potential. I'm just genuinely curious.
That's what
to
it
see
is.
where this road takes us.
It's not up to us.
Because I know that human beings are inherently garbage, but they're also they're like limitlessly creative.
Like that movie Limitless.
Like the movie Limitless.
Or the TV show Limitless.
Yeah.
It's about a man with no limits.
Both of those things. Oh, Bruce,
God,
it's
I
your
can't
game.
believe they
Yeah,
made a TV
this was
show
the one
of
she was
that.
talking about. Please hug me.
Please hug me.
Yeah.
Nobody will hug him.
It's just so it's a cute short story that couldn't exist in any other platform, and you would never pay for it individually.
Yeah.
And it means more when you're playing it than when you're watching it. And I think that is just a really cool thing you can do in Dreams that you can't do anywhere.
How long until a Dreams thing wins an Academy Award short?
Never.
Okay.
It's possible. All right. But Bruce said never, so I guess it's
I
not my
said
bad.
never.
Close.
We're in a
How about
post.
this? Tweet me in 15 years when it wins and tell me I'm wrong.
You think Twitter will be around by then, or be
You just screwed
combined
over
with something
future
else?
future
Hope
Bruce.
so.
He's
I'm really
screwed.
invested in
You're
it.
gonna
can't
get
wait.
doxxed.
I can't wait. I won't care. I'll be dead.
You'll be dead.
What? Why?
15 years?
Yeah, I live extreme.
He lives a hard life,
Are
but
you kidding? I skydive every day.
I
got that wingsuit out.
he lives a very extreme life with cool things in it. Kind of like the kind of things you would get from Bespoke Post.
Okay, sure, yeah.
You like that?
Well, yeah, we'll take it.
When you're constantly on the go or in your wingsuit, as Bruce often is, there's not much time to think about upgrading your style or apartment. Not that Bruce needs to, because
No.
it's filled with wingsuits. Now is your chance, if you don't have Bruce's freedom, to enter the Box of Awesome from Bespoke Post. They'll do all the work to help you find quality and unique products to deliver every month. To get started, visit boxofawesome.com, answer a couple questions about your interests and the kind of things you want to upgrade in your lifestyle. Whether you're in search of like a new drink, you want to make a new cool drink and impress your friends. That's
While I'm
very
in my
Lawrence
wingsuit?
thing. Lawrence got this box and he loves it, by the way. It's all Lawrence stuff. But whether or not you want to get a drink or just some things to like upgrade your apartment or something like that, like it can be basically any cool thing. Think the Dos Equis guy commercial.
The most interesting man in the world.
If you want to live like him, this is how you do it. Yeah, Bespoke Post improves your life one box at a time. Every month, you'll receive details on your upcoming box, and from there, you can change colors, sizes, add extras, or even just like skip it if you're not feeling a, I don't know, like a tiny log saw or something that you could get to cut your cigars.
I'm feeling that.
Like you can skip it, but in that case, you would not. Bespoke Post offers essential goods and guidance for the modern man, the wingsuit man, as I'm going to say. So if you want to receive 20% off your first subscription box, go to boxofawesome.com and enter code DUDE at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code DUDE for 20% off your first box. Bespoke Post themed boxes for guys that give a damn. I'm actually going to say for girls that give a damn too. There's no reason women can't use wingsuits.
Not at all.
It's true.
I wingsuit with my significant other all the time.
Do you really?
Autumn and I, we get out there and
Go wingsuit.
Two beautiful squirrels.
flying off.
Thank you, Bespoke Post, for your sponsorship.
Have you guys seen that extreme video of a guy that gets in a catapult, human catapult?
No.
It's fucking awesome.
Wait, like the kind of thing circus performers have been doing forever?
Like in Sea of Thieves?
Check it out. It's kind of like Sea of Thieves where you get shot out of a cannon. So they put him in it's like a giant slingshot. I think it's called a human catapult. And then they launch him out of it with some feathers, and he launches himself off the edge of a cliff.
Oh.
And then parachutes.
Okay.
And it's all first person. So you get to see his perspective as, not first person. It's facing him.
Oh, he's
so
like
the camera's
Right.
here and he's looking at it.
Is he a New Zealand guy?
Probably.
That sounds right.
Yeah. And he gets shot off the edge and then like pulls the.
Was this
Wow.
recent or is this?
It was recent. I saw it recently. Maybe it's old, but it's awesome.
Hold on.
There are many questions I have about someone shooting themselves out of a cannon.
Sure.
Like, why is it taking
Well,
us
the
this long?
catapult. Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I
a
may have-
catapult.
Yeah.
Is that
I mean, they used to
it?
do cannon shootings back in the day.
You'd go deaf, I think.
No?
I'm not sure how. I mean, they
wasn't
plug up
pretty
the
loud.
ears. I don't know. I mean, look, if you're a carny,
It's not it.
that's.
It doesn't
can we
matter.
say
At least you
carny?
have consent.
Can we say carny anymore?
Is that
Is
offensive?
that okay?
Yeah, why not?
You can't
I don't
say
know. Oh, dang it. I don't know if. I mean, that's the carny lifestyle. You're eating swords. You're
Going deaf.
Yeah, going
growing a
deaf.
beard.
Hey, you get shot with a cannonball.
Extra
That was
nipple.
a guy's job.
Yeah.
It's called a nubbin.
Oh, a GIF. Okay.
Is that a real name?
It was in an episode of Friends. They find out Chandler has a third nipple and he calls it his nubbin.
You can say nubbin, right?
I don't know.
Chandler can because he has 3 nipples.
He's my hero. So this fire festival. Hear me out.
I think it might be that one.
Is it this one? This guy facing us?
Try it. Yeah, it's that one.
That one?
Do you like the Hulu one better?
I haven't watched the Hulu one. I
both
only
work-
watched the
They
Netflix
work
one.
together.
I've watched
I
them
think.
both. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they work
Okay.
together.
After R. Kelly, the I Survived R. Kelly series,
Yeah.
I am wiped.
I also want to watch those Ted Bundy tapes.
Oh yeah, they keep talking about him like he's so attractive.
He's not. No,
Okay.
stop that.
All right.
Wait, Zach Efron isn't or Ted Bundy?
Ted
Ted Bundy.
Wasn't that his whole thing though? He lured people in because he was so handsome.
No, I think it's just that he seemed normal.
I put the GIF in the doc, Omar, if you
I
want to.
thought that was because he was like good looking. and women were like drawn to.
He's not that good looking though.
Or am I thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer?
He looks like just a generic white dude.
Ted Bundy's the one who
which I guess they'll take.
he represented himself in court, right? I think he's the one who kept like escaping in weird ways.
Really?
Yeah. There's the whole CNN series. I think it's the 70s or 80s. They talk about Jeffrey Dahmer.
it is.
Oh, I have seen this.
Whoa.
You seen this guy?
So
Yeah.
so what he's
'Cause
doing
it-
is he's holding the camera
Yeah.
and then he pulls the shoot.
Gotcha.
It's fucking wild.
Oh, spoiler.
What's wrong with-
Coco.
Wait, that's in Dreams?
No.
So this is him in the catapult here, and then I don't know what rig they've got him in, but
Oh my god.
He's holding
Yeah.
it.
it's
right? And-
wild.
okay, and then he flips
it's
over.
wild.
I always thought it was like really impressive how much control people have of their bodies
Yeah.
when you're moving like that instead of just flailing.
Well,
I
that's
did,
why you have practice.
I did 0G in one of those planes once.
Oh, did you?
You
Yeah.
parabolic flight, and that's really hard to even stay still because you touch one thing and then you just float to the
bounce
other
off
side,
of it,
and you're
right?
like trying to hold onto it, and you just keep bouncing around.
Well, we did Tube Sky Academy or whatever. What was it? The
Oh yeah, sky tubing. When we went
Oh,
indoor
sky
skydiving.
tubing. Yeah, indoor skydiving.
If you go to Universal Studios, they have the giant tube that you get in, and
Oh, yeah.
our instructor came out like, I don't know, Sergeant Awesome. He comes out and he's like, I'm just going to show you some of the few things
yeah.
you do. And he's running up the wall, flipping around. He's
it was awesome.
And he's like, now you go. And we go,
And that's just like we're sitting there like
It's cool, but it's really emasculating.
yeah.
Because like when you're like a 200-pound guy who works out a lot, and then he's like, just point your toes, and he's like holding your hands. He's like, just trust me. Trust me.
That's exactly right.
Like, trust me, you'll do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. Point your toes, man. And you're not doing it well because you're going up and down. And he's like, you got it, you got it.
I think also when we went, it was one of those like a Bruce surprise day. It was like, surprise, we're going.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and I was
yeah.
wearing my boots, and they're like these big heavy boots. And he's sort of like, you might want to leave your boots off. And I was just like, but they're like, you need to wear shoes in case like you kick the side and want you to break a toe or something. So these like 10-pound shoes.
Yeah, that's
and he's
right,
like,
you
your
gotta have
shoes suck. I'm just like, thanks.
Well, the best part
Thanks, man.
at the very end of it, when basically you got out there and you stood there for 30 seconds with the wind blowing in your face.
Yeah.
And then you come down, he'd be like, "Great job!" And then at the end, he's like, "You know what? I'll do some more." And he went up and did more
Yeah,
tricks.
yeah, he had a great
I was
time.
like basically paid for him to do tricks for me.
He was gonna do it either way.
But that seems like it'd be cool to watch at least.
Yeah.
Sure, but not for like
I had a
$60.
great I had a great time.
Same.
No, yeah, so did I.
It was funny too because you'd be in there and you'd be like, "You want to go up?" Because you had to pay like extra. It was like you paid the price, but then it was like, "All right, if you pay an extra $20, we'll put the fan on real high." You're like, "All right, I don't think that's worth $20." But then like you do it and they go, "Here we go," and then he's of course holding your hand. And whoa! And you go up to the top. And you're like, "Man, I went so high up," and then you pull yourself out of the tube, and then I go, "Bruce, how high did I go?" And you're like, like eye level." I thought I was way up there. And then, no, man, you're just eye level.
I was like basically standing there facing James. It's like, whoa!
You lose track of everything in there.
The closest I've come since is doing like a trampoline park on my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There's-
trampoline park. That's like when I scratched at my face.
We went to the same
I
place.
told you I live extreme.
I
Yeah.
had my neck real bad at one of those once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I always for every GIF of a guy who's doing like, there's a video came out recently where a guy, it's all like it's trampoline world, but it's all like parkour stuff. And this is a 5'2" dude who's got like the same frame as Nightcrawler. So of course he's like spinning and jumping, going off everything. But it's like for every one of him, there's like me where I went down the half pipe for the first time and here I go. It's just like,
But to get to be him, he had to be you at one point.
At one point,
No.
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 he was
He
always-
did a backflip the first try.
He came out of the
probably
womb
right,
doing
right.
a
Some people
cartwheel.
just
Some
some people
people
are like,
have that.
"Nah, I just gonna do a backflip."
yeah, some people have
Yeah,
that.
it's like female gymnasts where you're like, yeah, or I guess even male gymnasts too, where it's like you look at him like you are built for that
Yeah,
thing.
they were designed to make.
I'm a big
They've been doing it since they were 8.
And if they weren't built for it, they wouldn't have been to the point where you're still watching them. They would have been selected
That's
against.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
true.
You don't see the gymnasts that grew out that were really talented, but then their legs are too long.
right.
Yeah.
It's like you need to be 5'2", be very stocky, have giant legs, and have a big head.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm not a model. I just wasn't built for it, you know?
Same.
It's not my fault.
That's same with me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same with me.
I could have
I
been
just
an
wasn't-
actor.
I could have been great. It's fine.
Speaking of actors, Adam,
What?
Segue.
kind of. It's not an ad segue. We can still talk about trampolines if you want to, but I have another thing that I thought might be interesting to discuss.
It's fine.
You guys know Patton Oswalt?
Not
Yes.
personally, no.
No, you haven't met him. That's weird.
Not that I know
The rest
of.
of us have.
Yeah.
No, we haven't. Recently, there was kind of a feel-good story recently. Patton Oswalt, everyone's favorite comedy teddy bear. Patton Oswalt proved once again that he's some sort of elevated life form when he decided to combat callousness with kindness. Basically, after checking out the profile for a guy who was kind of trolling him on Twitter, he realized that the guy had a ton of medical problems and is probably pissed off at life more than he is pissed off at Patton Oswalt. So Oswalt shared the guy's GoFundMe. He actually donated to it as well. And also, can I just side note, how shitty is it that we live in a world where if you're having medical issues, you have to put up a GoFundMe
Yeah.
to ask people for money?
Yeah.
There's something wrong there.
Yep.
If you think it's working, it's not. And then he shared the link, and they basically like completely wiped out the dude's medical bills.
Oh, that's
that he
great.
had.
Oh.
Like they blew away. He had some sort of like astronomical number, like $30,000. Not that he's scamming anyone, it's just how much just everything cost. And I think they raised like $50,000 in like 24 hours. And so the guy, even before that happened, just in the sharing of the link and the showing of empathy or whatever, was like, wow, I really appreciate that. And it basically made everyone around that positive situation more positive.
That's great.
That's cool.
So
I just got my DMV bill.
DMV bill?
And you
What
need
the hell are you
GoFundMe
talking about?
for
Your
your
car
DM
registration?
Like your
If I yell,
Solution.
should I start yelling at The Rock?
Maybe Elon Musk.
Yeah. If I just act real shitty to a bunch of celebrities.
Get
and
one of them to reply.
So first I do a bunch of tweets about
About how
like
sick you are.
Yeah, well no.
DMV.
No, I'm just
Sorry.
DMV.
I'm so sick I'm about to die of these insane prices. it's over 3. It's in the
Nobody go to Adam's GoFundMe.
it's the 3
It's
figure.
in
No
the
one does.
300s.
there were I had a couple of reactions to this because like I am not as good at this, and I also don't necessarily have the money where if I saw someone in this situation, I'd be like, here you go, bud. But
I have a real problem of donating to every single GoFundMe of a sick person that I ever see.
So you know what to do.
Yeah.
Send your GoFundMes to Alana.
troll right here.
Thankfully, my Twitter feed doesn't let me see links most of the time. But every time I come across one, I'm like, cool, $50. I'm sorry about your cancer. Shit, I got to do it. Every time.
Well, my first thought, well, that's good for you because you're a good person. But I'm a comedian. And so my first thought was Patton Oswalt is a good person, but he probably went to the guy's profile so that way he could make a joke about him that was more personal.
Absolutely.
It probably was like, because I know when people come like actively attack me or whatever, I'm more likely to click on their profile and be like, well, let's see how fucking great you are. So that way my reply is going to be something that is actually substantial, right? As opposed to just some, oh, you suck. You can't do that.
Typically I like to see who else they're yelling at. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like if they're like, Ryan Reynolds, you suck. James Cameron, you suck. I'm like, they think I'm in the same league as some pretty important people. But if it's just like James, Bruce, Adam, Alana, you all suck, I'm like, dang it.
Oh man.
I'm nothing.
Losers. That's
Yeah.
losers.
All he's doing is yelling at you two people.
That's Z tier.
Yeah, I want to like be like, fuck you, Zack Snyder, and like James Gunn, you're cool, you know. Like,
Sometimes I do get tagged with James Gunn,
oh,
only because my handle is so close to his.
gotcha. So the
He's James G
autocomplete.
and I'm James W. So if someone's just going down their alphabetical nature
I
of
see what you're saying.
things, they'll and so I do actually
James they're gonna yell
I
at
do
there?
actually
Yeah.
sometimes
I definitely don't get that.
in there with really good James Remar, all kinds of really big names.
I would
That's
get
exciting.
I'd get tagged with what's his name? Damn it, Weird Al, because it's like Alan Yankovic or something
Oh,
like that.
Oh,
'Cause it's like-
yeah,
yeah.
Adam Kovic, yeah.
So it's like it's in there, and it's just like people are like, I'm so disappointed. I'm like, yeah.
Well, as far as this goes, how do you feel like you could be better at spreading positivity as opposed to negativity? How would you combat negativity, Adam?
Ask someone
I
else
mean, I know
first.
screaming is generally
Someone else first. I can do it. You want me to do
Please do, yeah.
it? Usually what I try and do is like in YouTube comments and stuff like that. Most of the time, if I see a YouTube comment that is like blatantly wrong, and I know the facts, I'll get in there and correct them, and then I wait for them to respond because I'll correct them with just the facts, and then if they respond with like, "Oh shit, I'm really sorry, I was just having a bad day," which is usually normal. That's generally what people do. Then I'm like, "Hey, it's cool, no problem," and move on. That's hopefully the way to diffuse the situation is to be, first of all, straightforward and honest and factual, and then beyond that, just be positive. But I have seen people that will double down, and then once they double down, then I get in there and go like, "Hey, man, we're all just talking about the same thing here." Try to again diffuse it with the, we're all on the same team.
You press RT and hold X to diffuse,
Yeah. Jeez. Wow.
de-escalate.
And that's that usually works.
Yeah.
Not always, But usually, it depends on the subject matter. I've noticed some of the subject matters that we've had on the subreddit. Even if I try and get in there and say, like something like, look, this is just our perspective. We're the content creators or whatever when it has to do with Funhaus stuff, and people still disagree, there isn't much you can do. And you just sort of back off and go like I remember specifically there was one time I had an interaction where I got all the way down the thread with this person, just kept going, arguing about Funhaus stuff, and it was about hymns actually. And at the very end, I was just like, you know what? Normally I interact with the community and I really like doing it, but you are turning me off to this. So if that's what you want, then you've got it. And it wasn't positive, but for me, that was sort of the way I felt, which I was like, oh, you're kind of turning me off to talking to people here. And a bunch of other people came into that thread and said, no, this person doesn't speak for us. Like, we want you here, we want to talk to you, et cetera, et cetera. So that reinforced me, that helped me a little bit. But I try to be factual, but at the same time positive. So it's tough. It's tough.
I still don't have an answer.
No.
I have a 1 in 5
You don't
rule for every one negative thing I reply to. I make sure I reply to 4 positive things.
That's
So
a
that
good
if
rule.
I am replying to
Yeah.
a negative thing, then I'm like, don't just do that. Make sure I also find positive.
That's a
things.
good rule.
We've talked about that because when we used to do the comment show,
Yeah.
we'd sometimes have discussions about like,
Negative comments.
yeah,
positive
it,
comments.
it shouldn't all be comments that are negative that we want to yell back at this person, even though that's
It's
funnier.
easier to make funny, yeah.
But like we should do positive comments because then you show positivity, and when you show positivity, that's generally what it
encourage it.
facilitates. Yeah, and you encourage it. And I thought this was a really good example of encouraging it.
I guess I try really hard not to be negative. I guess because I went from I've sent shitty emails and I've said shitty things, and then I got a job where I realized, oh my God, so much of everything I'm doing is under a microscope. It's not a big microscope, but like it's sort of like the one where I get kind of confused, like going back to James Gunn, where it's like, how did you not know this wouldn't bite you in the ass later? Like I try not to. I think I was just very self-aware of stuff I was saying or how I was interacting with people. So like it kind of sucks in a way because it's that big question of, am I being good because I'm being watched? That's not a good way to live your life, right?
True.
So it's like, I hope I'm being genuinely good, but I like it definitely second guess every interaction I have with somebody. And to like Alana's point, I almost try to just avoid the negativity. And if I ever do interact with negativity, I usually, like Bruce, I'll just try to be super positive about it. There was one thread in particular, I was talking to you about this a little bit, but like one guy was just coming at me hard, and I'm like, hey man, I hope you're okay, blah blah, it sounds like you got some shit going on in your life. If you ever want someone to talk to, because it reminded me of me when I would just lash out at people on forums. I was just being a shithead, and he just came back with, no, fuck you, my life's great, you suck. And I'm like, okay.
I've done that before and had it work. I was sharing it on Twitter for a while where someone would say something awful to me, like just really horrendous. And I would be like, hey, you don't have to say all the mean things that come to mind. I hope your day gets better. And they'd be like, you're right, I'm sorry. And it happened quite a few times. Someone said they were going to rape me
usually
with
works.
a cactus.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was like brutal stuff. And I was like, I hope your day gets better, man. And they were like, I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have done that. And like, it was a pretty good track record
9
for
times
it.
out of 10, I think that works.
Yeah.
I think that actually works when you're like, look, I'm really sorry you're having a bad day, or not even that condescending. It's more of just like, if you're having a bad day, let's talk about it. Like, or if you want to DM me or whatever, we're cool. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it. Usually people are like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I was being an asshole.
I'll see like a common thread too where people say like, I can't even watch these guys anymore. In the last 300 videos I watched, they did, and you're like, and I've told people before, we've said this before, it's like, I think you might be burned out on us, and that's okay. I would be burned out on hanging out with anyone for that long. And I think it's the same way we create our content these days, where we're like, can't do demo disc every week because that might burn people out. So we're trying to create it seasonally and try to break some stuff up, because I don't want people watching us to get burned out on us, but also there's so many other things out there.
Yeah.
There's a guy shooting himself out of a catapult
It's awesome.
with
Yeah,
feathers.
is that going to be the next season of Demo Disc?
I wish. I mean, it will be,
if we
but
need
it
the
will be for
views.
me on my personal channel. Go to my personal channel, check out me videos, couple.
Nice. That's a good.
What did you just say?
Technically not.
I hit my head a lot and I came out of that catapult.
It's just a link to your GoFundMe for your funeral, because it's really expensive, but it's in dreams. So
Would that be uncouth to do a GoFundMe now for your funeral later? So but like the whole thing is like, I don't want to pass on the cost, so I want to make sure I have the money now.
Why not?
how about stop
you're-
making it about you?
If you know you're dying, then I think that's fine.
I mean, we're all dying.
We are all
Everybody's dying
but
all
like
the time. Sure.
more immediately.
I mean, I don't know. I walk through traffic sometimes. I don't even wait for the light to turn.
Okay, this is my personal feeling, and it's okay if you disagree with me, but I feel like if you want to make a big funeral about you, you've got bigger problems. It just seems weird that it's like, when I'm dead, you stuff me, you wax me, you make me look like I look more beautiful, make me look like a weird clown.
Oh, you can put me in the trash. I don't care.
That's hard. I'm like, please burn me up. Burn me up. I want to take up as little space on this planet as possible.
Apparently, when you like incinerate a body, it uses
More energy?
the equivalent energy of like putting someone in a casket and like.
But it
That's
takes
not
really?
space.
Something like it's like a ton of stuff. There's body farms. Well, that's what you want.
What's that?
What's a body farm?
A body
where
farm is
take your
they basically
organs?
there's like a plot of land. There's an organization that does it. They have a punny name in LA. But basically they just bury you. They wrap you in like biodegradable blankets and then they bury you somewhere.
I don't even need the blanket. Chuck me in the ocean. I don't care.
There's this
Give me the shots. I don't care.
Neptune Society. That's the Neptune Society.
They do
They
that?
just throw you in the ocean?
It's the term for it's a group that like
You
all
are
right, they throw you in
legally
the ocean.
allowed to have a burial at sea. You have to be 3 miles off the coast.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But even that seems like such a journey. I think you
That
just
is
put
too
me in
long.
there.
Shoot the arrow.
You put, and then if
Hits
they
me.
find like a plot of ground, and then they just like put you there, and they also sometimes use it so that way like they can save parks. So like there's like a park or whatever that's like some developer wants to go into, and they're like shove a body in there because once there's a body buried there, it's way harder.
yeah.
It's harder
cursed.
bureaucratically to do that. So they'll sometimes do that, and then they'll build like a natural area or a park, or they're like, oh, we're gonna make a park here, and we want to make sure
Yeah,
it's good for a
chuck
really
me off
long
a cliff
time.
in Yellowstone or something like that. That'd be
yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Throw
let
me
a-
off a half dome.
I was saying
yeah,
my
let a bear eat me.
I want speaking of bear and shucking someone off. I want my funeral to be basically the beginning of Tekken. I want Bruce with Heihachi hair and a kimono to carry me and throw me into a volcano. That's what I want.
I think blasted into space would be cool. I think it's sort of shitty for you to go, I want you to bury me and I want to take up as much space. I'm gonna be laying down. I'm not even going straight into the earth, which would make more sense, but it's
Space
like,
pollution's a problem, though.
what do you mean? Oh,
Like,
sure.
You got a lot of
Well,
satellites.
shoot me into a satellite, then shoots that satellite into the sun.
Or put me in Elon Musk's car
car.
that's on the way to Mars.
Or use me as fuel for the space rockets that get you to Mars. Or like, definitely donate my organs. Though,
Yeah, get rid of
hopefully I'm
Body
really old.
underneath the space shuttle as it launches. And then it'll vaporize you.
You should be like the kindling.
Yeah.
Like they light you, and then that leads to the fuel, and then
That would be awesome if they had a stack of bodies below the space shuttle.
Humans aren't really flammable, though, right? No, we're not flammable.
with enough fire, it'll
You just
burn.
spit hairspray.
That'll burn everything away.
And if there's any witches in there, they definitely don't go to heaven.
There you go.
Yeah,
We
That
figured
was
it out.
what I was also worried about.
How did we get here?
I was just saying,
we're talking about GoFundMe's, for
Positivity.
funerals
Right.
and positivity.
I think this sounds weird. I think funeral culture is weird. Like the whole thing of preserving a corpse, a cadaver, and then trying to make it as lifelike as possible. So it's like, so people can be at ease and see you one last time. It's like, no, fuck that. I'm dead. Like, don't prop me up like a weird mannequin.
It is really
It's
strange. Yeah, they like put stuff in your mouth to keep it closed and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm like that's not me. That is.
It's gonna be a picture of
a
you
husk.
on that canvas, like we have there. Somebody's gonna be giving your eulogy, and it'll be the worst picture of you on that canvas.
It's gonna be
Adam's
Batman face paint. I've already said I'm like at my funeral. Please make jokes because no one. I don't want anyone to be sad at my funeral, and I actually kind of hope I don't have a funeral. It's like go to
you live
Disneyland for
forever.
the
Yeah,
day.
what, are you gonna live forever?
No, I'm just like
no friends.
That's double sided though because
I don't know.
funerals are helpful for the people who attend.
They
them.
are. Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
They're
This is about me, not
dead.
them. Yeah,
this is about me, not them. He circled all the way back.
I changed my
Back
mind.
around on it.
I want a big casket. Give me two pyramid size.
And everyone must be happy.
It's like pharaohs are assholes. They're
Yeah.
they're like take up as much land as you can.
Also, they took so long to build.
Yeah, they started like when they were born, and they're like, look, son, you're gonna die in that one day.
They took all their possessions with them too.
In their defense,
Don't defend.
there was a lot more, maybe not more, it's probably more confusion and uncertainty about what the next phase of things was. So a lot of that was preparation. Like it's like, imagine if you were going to move to a new apartment. And so you got one of those big ordered one of those big shipping containers and you were loading up the shipping container and you moved and then you unloaded it at your new apartment. That was the same thing
yeah.
to them
Yeah,
as dying was because they had no concept of anything.
They knew where they were going to meet Ra and Anubis.
Well, that's what they thought, yeah. But they're dead. I mean, they're dead and they don't exist anymore.
Right.
No, I know that.
So it'd be basically if Adam today was like, oh, I'm going to move. So he ordered one of those containers, filled all the containers up. And then as soon as he's like, all right, now to go. And then someone cattle blew his brains out or whatever. Like
threw me in the container.
and then
But he
didn't
made
exist
slaves
anymore.
build the containers first.
Yes.
And it took them several years.
I mean, it was shipped from China.
Hired
hand.
help.
yeah.
So that's what the equivalent
Home
was. So
Depot.
in defense, people that are today are like, this casket, ooh, silk inside.
Yeah.
Look, feel this. Do you feel these
I just-
pillows in here?
I
Like,
just think
that's
I think graveyards are a strange concept that there's like so much land.
Well, humans have always buried their dead, though. That's always been a thing.
I know,
right?
but it's like it's a stone that now we're upkeeping the land for
yeah, sure.
like the amount of sprinklers that are going, the like all the maintenance. Like people could live there.
Yeah.
It's like it's not
there's
haunted.
some
I guarantee
amazing
you.
park space in
Yeah.
LA if we could just dig up all those
We're
bodies.
right next to a giant. And I'm like, I get it. It helps for people, but then also it's like, well, what happens 3 or 4 generations later when you're all dead? You're like, we're just gonna keep running out of space.
We're going to the ocean. Neptune Society.
The ocean seems
But then
like
we're
it would
gonna
work,
have
'cause
bodies
fish-
in it.
But fish would eat you, right? Like wouldn't we
Eventually,
be-
Definitely.
Yeah.
You'd be food for fish
You'd
and
be-
everything else. Yeah. 100%.
And you'd
be
degrade.
long gone. I'm telling you, pile of bodies underneath the space shuttle. That's the best way to do this. It blasts them into ash. The ash goes everywhere.
It
and
is
that's
near
it.
the ocean too.
Yeah, there you go.
So then it just becomes kelp or
I got to
plankton.
tweet Elon Musk about this.
Yeah. Put my body under the spaceship.
Well,
He's
speaking
like, I just run a car company.
speaking of spaceships, you ever heard of a little company called Wayland Utani?
Oh,
have,
this is
yes.
actually a
They
good
make
segue.
spaceships.
I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, they did.
And this episode of Dude Soup is brought to you by the perfect bioengineered killing machine, the Xenomorph. Oh, that's right.
That's true.
Hey, Adam, what's your favorite version of the Xenomorph?
That's a tough one.
Wrong.
Okay.
It's the one with the netting scars from its head in Alien versus Predator. Remember that one?
Wow.
That's
I was
the-
gonna
that one.
say Ripley clone.
Oh, okay. I don't think that counts.
And it is like kill me.
Yeah.
the white one that comes out and then it gets sucked out in an airlock.
Yeah.
That's
Spoiler.
a good one.
The
That's a good
hybrids.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hybrids.
Alien resurrection.
Well, in terms of full xenomorphs, this is definitely the one with netting. Well, whatever your favorite version, Foxnet and D3 Go want you to go back to the test. Just brain farting.
You got it.
Foxnet and D3 Go want to put you to the test in a new chapter of the Alien franchise, Alien Blackout. It's a fear-inducing, unique space survival horror mobile game experience that will test the inner nerves of both Alien and horror fans alike. Remember, she's scared. Life can end in an instant, as we just alluded to, but it can end in even a faster instant if you're surrounded by xenomorphs and scary monsters trapped on a space station, which is the premise of this game. In Alien Blackout, you must do all that you can to stay alive while trapped aboard a crippled Wayland Utani spaceship, and the xenomorph is ready to tirelessly hunt you and your crew down. Can you guide your crew through 7 fear-inducing levels and ever-increasing challenges as you take the reins as Amanda Ripley? That's right.
What?
That's Ellen Ripley's daughter.
Spoiler.
Not
really.
really. It's her last name.
All right, well.
But it's actually her daughter. The unpredictability of both the alien and her crew can spell total defeat for the entire station if you do not keep it together. Bruce,
What?
keep it together.
It's good. It's quite good.
So if this sounds like fun to you, it's super fun mobile. You played it, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
It's good.
Alana likes the game. So if you want to get your fix of aliens and also fear-inducing horror mobile games are always a tough thing to do, but they did it here. So if this interests you, click on the link in our description or head over to www.d3go.com/dudesoup and download Alien Blackout for the App Store, Google Play, and Amazon Store today. The one with the nets.
Really?
Remember? Because they net him and he goes like, no! And he fights out. And then he kills 3 predators.
I half watched Alien versus Predator.
That's
I
fine.
saw it in the theaters.
so bad.
AVP and AVP2.
So bad.
I never saw AVP 2.
Not good.
I saw them
AVP was all I
didn't
needed.
see it.
both in the theaters.
AVP2 Air Requiem.
Well,
Ugh.
we're almost to the end of our show, but I have one special segment.
I saw
you
I saw it. And
Do you
I
have
was,
footage of the Wayland Utani ship going off with a bunch of bodies underneath it? Just kind of a throwaway shot. Weird.
No, I have a little game for everyone to play. We played it last time. Adam, you were here last
I
time.
recall.
And it's my favorite game. It's called Movie Details, Shitty or Not.
I read ahead.
Okay.
So, but you didn't. are you you're the judge of this? Whether or not
Oh,
it's
I
shitty or
know.
not?
No, I know where they're from.
Got it.
So
Understood.
the premise of the
Understood.
game is there's a subreddit called Movie Details, and it started very earnestly, but it was immediately corrupted by people just posting the equivalent of IMDb trivia
It's not even trivia,
about
though.
movies on a subreddit. Also, the upvotes, it's just insurmountable. It gets more front page traction than anything else on Reddit. It blows my mind every single time.
Breaking your brain. You said front page.
For people that go, it's like literally an example will be Jason Bourne's last name is Bourne. This is a reference to the fact that the title of the film is Bourne, and you have 40,000 upvotes or something absurd.
Wow.
Limitless refers to the fact that Bradley Cooper has no limits. People are like,
There's also another subreddit, which is like a parody subreddit called Shitty Movie Details,
Oh,
which mocks
I
movie
see.
details. Now, I have gone through and I have picked 3. There is a shitty movie detail in here.
wait.
Okay.
So who confirms that it's shitty?
Whether or not it was pulled from Shitty Movie Details or Movie Details.
Shitty Movie
There
Details
are
is the
3.
parody.
That's the parody subreddit.
Yes.
Right.
But my game to you is to figure out if you can decipher whether or not it's shitty
All right.
from the shitty subreddit or actual and still also shitty.
Okay.
So let's start with the first one.
Okay.
This one also has a bonus prize of how many upvotes you think it has on either shitty or not shitty. In 2017's Beauty and the Beast, that's the live action one, after becoming human, Cogsworth's mustache is uneven, just like the hands of a clock. Can we show it up there, Omar? Can you click that link so they can see?
Oh, it is.
That's the detail.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Okay, yeah.
Sir Ian McKellen, who portrays a clock.
Why is he so red?
I don't know. They probably, whatever DVD they pirated this from.
Scary.
So as you can see, his mustache, similar to the hands of a clock. Look at that.
I mean,
Yeah,
a
it's-
clock that is only at one time always.
It is also worth noting that if it was a regular mustache, it would also be similar to the hands of a clock,
Exactly.
just at a different time. So,
Gotcha.
I guess you could say this one's a little bit thicker.
I
and
think
longer.
this is a normal movie detail.
Okay.
Yeah,
Normal.
me too.
I think normal.
Normal?
Shitty.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah.
It is normal. Now for bonus points, how many upvotes do you think that's this? Not even upvotes. How many points? Because
Sure.
it offsets.
Yeah. 30,000.
I was going to say 4,000.
I was going to say 7,000.
The correct answer is 6.3 thousand.
Yes.
Okay. Whew. I have a little bit of humanity left.
All right. On to our next one. There is an actual shitty movie detail in here, Adam.
I can't
believe you.
trust them.
Last time I said there was, or last time I just played the game, but then there wasn't. They were all actual movie details. They were just all shitty. But there is an actual one in here.
Okay.
All right. In Incredibles 2004, that's my favorite part when they put the year.
Yeah. So, you know.
The Incredibles 2004 is set in the 1960s, according to a newspaper Bob is reading. Look, it says right there, 1962. That's how you know the film Incredibles, which takes its entire aesthetic from an entire fucking decade, is set in the 1960s. This is
This is
how.
a platform for him to rant.
I know
This is how we know. Right here. This is a detail. They knew. They knew what year it was.
I'm gonna say shitty. I'm gonna say shitty movie detail.
No, this looks like a real movie
Real
detail.
movie detail. All right, understand.
I'm also going with shitty.
This is a real movie detail. You see? It's not the cars, not the architecture,
Not the clothes.
not everything else fucking about it. It's this shit right here
Wow.
that proves it.
Wow.
All right, this is our final one. I guess process.
So we already know. Yeah.
Shitty.
Well, we'll see.
All right. We're skipping points on that one.
Yeah,
Let's just skip it.
Yes.
I don't want to know.
All right. In Coco 2017, a collection of piñatas of other Pixar characters can be seen hanging from a building.
I mean, that's not.
Up there. Look at that.
That could be a movie detail or a shitty movie detail.
I mean, that's true.
yeah.
Sure. That's the thing you pointed out.
Look at that.
Congratulations.
Those are piñatas. Those are characters.
Toy Story.
Yep.
That's
Pixar characters and stuff.
it is a
See,
company
there's-
that's
Monsters Inc.
There's
they've been around for 10,
Billy
20 years.
Crystal.
The people working there are probably fans, so that's like not really a big deal anymore when they're
it's also like
self-aware
subtle too, how it's
in the shot.
most of the shot.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Shitty or not shitty?
You're the worst person. Of course it's real. That's a real movie detail.
See, I would have said this is real as well because I read ahead.
Uh-huh.
And I think this one's real.
Okay. Alana?
I'm gonna say this one's also real.
False. It is shitty.
Oh.
Only because of the rest of the headline for this, which reads, "This is a subtle nod to this post hanging at the top of our movie details with over 30,000 upvotes."
All of these people on Shitty Movie Details, they're all your friend.
Oh, yeah. They're my people.
You love
love them.
You love them.
I love them. They're doing God's work.
I have them bookmarked, and they come in every once in a while. And I go, "Ha, thank you, thank you for keeping me real."
Well, I told you there'd be a shitty one in there.
Yeah,
and
I
was
just
right.
thought you might be lying.
Nope, I wasn't lying.
Oh, bad.
I mean, sure, he got meta with it.
I just because like the whole time I was like watching Incredibles, I was like, when does this take place? What year or maybe decade does this take place? And I was always wondering. Anyway, that's our show. That's our episode of Do Soup. Thank you for talking about dreams, kind acts of kindness,
Death.
funeral, death, life, rebirth,
Catapulting.
everything.
Into the trash.
It's a shitty
Put me
movie
under that
details.
rocket ship.
Oh, yeah.
Call it a
absolutely.
day.
That's the best
Special
way.
thanks to my guest, Adam, Alana, Bruce. Bruce, where can we find more of you?
You go to twitter.com/humancatapult.
You should get that.
That's taken, I'm sure.
Is it?
It must be. It must be.
Let's see.
That's probably a porn
check it
star.
I don't know. What do we have anything else to? What's? Oh, we got a little show called Genlock.
Oh, yeah.
You should
Genlock.
check out.
Yeah, that's right.
You should check out Genlock.
It's up right now on Rooster Teeth.
Episode
There
1
is a
is
human catapult.
I knew it.
of course.
Yeah,
it is.
of course.
Episode 1 is free on Rooster Teeth, and you can check out episode 2 right now.
Yeah, they're both up.
On Rooster Teeth first. Check it out. It's pretty sweet. And
That first episode's free to watch for everybody.
Yep,
So.
free for everybody. And I think that's everything.
Really, I got one shitty movie detail for
Oh,
you.
please give it to me.
Several posters for the film The Happening were misprinted, showing the titles Mark Wahlberg The Happening, which is not in fact the real movie.
There you go. Who would have known if it wasn't for that subreddit?
Mark Wahlberg The Happening.
Yep, that's not it. All right. Anyway, we'll be back in just a few minutes with the post show. If you have a first membership, please come over and join us. We'll be looking at some fan art, talking to chat, and answering some comments. And other than that, we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Just
Like a
the
clock.
Just like the clock.
What year did it take place?
I hate that face.
One thing you guys did point out is if G4 is backed up on Betamax tapes in somebody's basement somewhere, I mean, Machinima as a channel probably backed up somewhere.
Well, I
On a
mean, somebody
YouTube
has,
server.
well, some kid has it. I'm serious.
No, you're right.
Some kid has a file.
I mean,
People are
even through
collectors.
official channels, it's a lot easier, I think, to migrate a hard drive